Hey guys, welcome to Seminar 4. I just wanted to put together this brief video to give you just a little background on what's going on this week. I've already explained it on the board, but I thought I would put this out there as well. 3 chapters this week, 8, 9, and 10. We're not going to actually do every chapter in the book. I think that leaves 11 and 12 if I remember right. 8, 9, and 10 is what we got going on here. Discussion assignment, just like usual, that's those procedure check items that will be posted to the board. Our usual working with Lynn's Music Studios here, and we have 3 pieces of that, so that's a little bit more work than normal. So essentially that's all that's really necessary for week 4. But I do want to point out this bottom section down here. As we've talked about it a little bit in the past, is you technically don't have to get started on this until Seminar 5. There's absolutely nothing to do in Seminar 5 or Seminar 6 other than this final project. And the fact that a third of the class, or a full 2 weeks, is devoted strictly to this should give you an indication that there's quite a lot to this. And if you've looked through any of this stuff, you'll know that. I did want to point out that there's 2 pieces to this project, 2 parts, if you will. There's this action project. There's certain things that you have to do related to some HR issues and so forth, kind of like a little case study deal. So that's one piece. My suggestion would be to kind of do that and get that the heck out of the way. That's not going to take you anywhere near as long as the comprehensive problem. And so here's the comprehensive problem. So you'll click on that and you'll find out all the details as to what's going on there. We also have an Excel spreadsheet template for got some figures already in there for you, so you can check to see if you get to that particular point along the way. And then here's the rubric that I'm going to use to grade. A lot of people ask me, well, what happens if I get this little thing wrong here or this little thing wrong here? I think the rubric will help if you look that over. But one of the other things that I think that's important to you is kind of understanding how I look at this. And it's really the way that I've graded your stuff all along the way. And that is, what I'm looking for first is, do you overall have an idea of what you're doing on whatever the particular assignment is? Now this is kind of a comprehensive, so it's an all-inclusive. So I'm looking for the aspects of using the QuickBooks software that you can actually do. Other things that, that I look for beyond that then are, I look for various specific types of statements, journals, reports, whatever, and I'm looking for the correct answers. So the answer that I have in the solution manual. And so if it's supposed to be $10,000 and it's $9,990, you're off by $10. Obviously that's not a big deal. So I'm going to try to see if I can figure out where that is by glancing at some of your journal entries or whatever the particular report item is that I'm looking at that stuff. But oftentimes, as you guys know in accounting, if you mess up something at the beginning, like in the first week of the month, the odds of you getting to the final correct answer for all of your particular statements and reports is pretty much nil, unless you figure out that you've done it wrong and then can correct it. So what I do is I say, okay, so you screwed this up here. All right, let's put that aside. Let's assume that you were right. Did you follow the rest of the steps appropriately, and would your answers then be correct? So I'm kind of looking like, percentage of perfect maybe is a better way to think about that. How close did you come to getting it all squared away? And the last thing I want to tell you is, in this particular project, if you want to use Excel, that's a great way to go because your template is already there for you. So save your work as Excel files or PDFs, not the QBMs. Don't save them as the QuickBook files. I do not have access to being able to pull those up. I actually have to kind of do that. I can't even do that myself. I can't even do that on my own machine. The problem that we're having with the QuickBook files is if you think about it, this software is not specifically built for an educational setting. We're using it in one, but it's built for using it as a business. And so if you think about it, there's the privacy and keeping control of your specific proprietary data. And so having you send me files for your company, and it's your company, it's your login and all that other kind of stuff, I can't just directly get to those files and open them up. I actually have to convert them, and I have to load them into my machine and my QuickBooks company, if you will. I have to overwrite my company with your company, which means I didn't have a company to start. So if student A submits their stuff, that becomes my company. Once I get access to those files and the next student submits it, I have to overwrite all of those files before I can even open it up and grade it. And it literally takes me an hour to an hour and a half to grade your files if you submit them to me in QuickBooks, where if you submit them to me in Excel or a PDF, it's 15-20 minutes. So assuming that you want me on your side when I'm making subjective viewpoints of your work, you might want to keep that in mind. You might want to make sure that I stay in a good mood while I'm looking at your work. So just something to consider as you're saving your work. And we've already posted a couple of times how you go about doing that, but if you need to know that information again, just let me know and I'll send you the instructions. That's it. We will not have any discussion board required things. There will not be any participation in weeks 5 and 6. Weeks 4 is still the same way as how we've been doing it, so that's still a requirement. But I do have a discussion board created for week 5, week 6, primarily to give us a forum to ask any questions or get clarification on anything as you're working on the project, either the action project or the comprehensive problem. So good luck to you. If you have any questions, please post them out there on the board. That way I can answer them and everybody can get the benefit of the answer. All right, have a good day.